Dog of the week. Hi guys, welcome back. I have a different dog. Okay, thank you. Okay, hello everybody, welcome back to my channel on YouTube. Podcasts. Chock full of information and we love them. They make you feel like you're not so alone, even though we all are. They've grown to become so popular that they have their own platforms that are dedicated to them. And they're so much fun because they just keep you company. And you're a muted participant, you're a fly on the wall. There are over 1.9 million podcasts streaming as of March 2021. And 1 million of them suck. There are podcasts for everybody, okay? Everybody. Incel dudes love Rogan. Amazing human beings love Comedy Bang Bang. Your girlfriend loves anything true crime. Your boyfriend loves Spit and Chicklets. And your ex-girlfriend loves Call Her Daddy. I have a few qualms with podcasts and the idea of starting a podcast when it comes to white men thinking they can do anything. White dudes in their 20s are constantly being like, I can do that. And that's not necessarily true. And I think it's the people that we surround ourselves with. There are too many people who don't shoot down our bad ideas quick enough. I think we need a little bit more of that. Next time one of your friends says, should I start a podcast? Say no. And here's the thing, they're probably gonna do it anyway. There's probably a list of like 100 that are fantastic podcasts, right? 100. What about the ones that no one ever talks about because they're just not good? I feel like what it takes to have a successful podcast and keep listeners coming back is to have an original idea and have a structure. But if you just don't have that going for you, you might fade into obscurity. You will find out if your thing works if you remain genuine and authentic and have original thoughts and ideas. And for the amount of dumb people on the internet, there are the same amount of smart people who can tell when someone is coming off as disingenuous. I feel like everyone just wants to be viral, and going viral once does not solidify your place on the internet. I'm talking about the people who are purely making things to get on the For You page of TikTok. Just to have that one thing that circles around the internet. I really want to understand why so many guys think it's just fine to start a podcast when they have no idea really what they're doing, and we can all tell. There's just too many guys, okay? And hey, I know, I could feel you pulling back because I am one of them. But I've had my podcast since 2017 and people seem to enjoy it. I'm not the king of podcasts. I'm not the king of comedy either. I'm not kicking ass and taking names in this video. I just want to understand why so many dudes think that we have to hear what they think all the time. I'm sick of it. Why is it recorded? Why is it being documented? I don't understand. And I guess that's what we're just trying to find out today. It's all ego. That's what I think. I think it's all ego. Because clearly, look what I'm doing. This takes some narcissism. This takes a lot of ego to be like, I should set up a camera, talk in front of it. Come on. Of course, I'm not the most humble guy in the world. You could tell because I'm making a YouTube video. Anyone who puts their shit out there like this thinking that they deserve to be seen, obviously they have an inflated ego. I'm not like an old head coming down on a bunch of up-and-comers. I'm just saying some stuff isn't for everybody. That's all it is. And I know this is gonna seem like a shameless plug for my own podcast, which it fucking is, whatever. I'm incredibly grateful for the amount of people who wait for the newest podcast episode to come out, for the people who wait for these types of videos to come out. People enjoy my stories, my bits, my jokes, whatever it is. But I just can't get behind, like I feel like I have a pretty good grip on like what's good and what's bad. I'm up for the discussion, but not right now because I'm doing something. I'm gonna be honest, like this, I have enough confidence in myself, but I do have enough people who are going to bat for me that can vouch, but I can comfortably say, if someone were to tell me, oh, you're not even funny, I can look at them and be like, yeah, but I am though. But that doesn't mean I have everything figured out. Obviously, it's a part of me too, like I think I'm doing a good job, but it's just such a plus when people tell me that they enjoy my content. It is installed in a white man's nature to assume that everyone should listen to them. I like getting mad. It's kind of funny. I've seen a good amount of viral tweets where the punchline is like white men starting a podcast, and I like those tweets because classic example of a tweet. Why do white men refuse therapy but start a podcast? I'm not speaking for every white man who thinks they're interesting or funny. I think I can answer that from my own personal experience. Here's why I can't go to therapy and the reason why I started a podcast back in 2017. Number one, I can't afford therapy, but I had a mic and a laptop. Number two, I truly enjoy oversharing with strangers and just being vulnerable while maintaining a comedic formality. Number three, for as long as I can remember, if I ever found out or just had a hunch that someone was having a bad day, I would go to great lengths to cheer them up and make them laugh. Number four, I've been doing stand-up comedy for roughly 8 years. Not as much as I'd like to, but still. All I know is that I have been faced with silence after saying something that I thought was so funny. and just had to deal with it right there and accept the silence and accept the fact that I'm bombing, right? And that's the other thing about podcasts, is that no one's there to let you know you're doing shitty. You just put it up and you're like, you just whatever. You don't have to really face it. But that doesn't just automatically mean you're clear and you found a loophole. My brain is constantly trying to find the humor in everyday situations that I am a participant of. And it's been like that for as long as I can remember. And for that reason exactly, I can't seem to shut up about anything. Either when I'm by myself in my own brain, my conscience won't be quiet, or when I'm with people, friends, family, you name it. So I found an outlet for everything I'm constantly thinking about. And I found out from a very young age that when I'm done speaking most of my sentences, people laugh. Even if it's just an exhale through the nostrils, that's a laugh. I don't know much, but I do know how to make people laugh and keep them engaged. Even when I'm by myself speaking into a microphone in my bedroom, doing my podcast, I will go out of my way to make sure everybody feels included. And that to me is therapeutic. I understand that going outside of your comfort zone is something we all need to do to see what we're truly capable of in life. However, it is so obvious that not everything is for everybody. Do you know what I mean? There are times where you do have to stay in your lane. There's tons of things that I would love to be good at, but I'm just not capable of. Everything that these dudes say on their podcast just sounds like things they forgot to mention during their shitty first date.
Do you think he deserved it over Mickey Rourke in The Wrestler?
I do not.
I do not either.
I do not. So
I don't mean to sound like a dream crusher or nothing, but don't make a podcast, man, because you're not funny, your stories suck, and you're actually just regurgitating bullshit that you've heard either on another podcast, in a YouTube video, or on TV. Just too many dudes out there worship fucking Rogan and, like, you know, unfortunately Chris D'Elia, and they think they have like the same philosophies as fucking Jordan Peterson and shit. Whatever happened to two guys hanging out and having a conversation and nobody recording it? How come, why can't it be like the old days where you just have a conversation? Why does everything have to be documented so hard? No, but wait, let's get a microphone because we're actually interesting. Says you. I'm gonna show a few clips of the stuff that I'm referring to.
You better lock it up. You better lock it up. No, you lock it up.
For the lock it up banter and like back and forth and everything, that was just all improvised by these two.
Michael Phelps is actually a big Future fan, and there was a famous picture of him, you know, kind of having that game face on at the Rio Olympics in 2016.
We get it, man. You've seen movies and you listen to music. We don't care when people say there's no limit to what you can accomplish. Not necessarily. There are a lot of things on the internet that are a complete waste of space. I think everybody's inner circle needs to remind them that there is a limit to their abilities. By the way, I'm just talking about, like, you know, being an entertainer. Remember when Lindsay Lohan tried music? Just wasn't for her, and that's fine. And also, sometimes you gotta find out the hard way that something's not for you, and that's part of the human experience. But what I'm doing right here is letting a lot of guys know, hey, your podcast isn't as awesome as you think it is. There's nothing wrong with staying in your lane until you find out what your thing is, and that can take any amount of time. That's the thing. Everybody has their time. You know when you're trying really hard to be cool with someone, to be friends with somebody, and there's just nothing there and there's no connection? And you still find yourself trying to force it? Because not everybody is supposed to be friends with everybody. Sometimes there's just nothing there and there's no connection and we have to accept it. Just like how when dudes try to have podcasts about nonsense, it's not working. It's not good, okay? A really good example of this is how, you know how Davey Dobes and Jason Nash tried having a podcast? Well, now it's not working out, obviously. But before that, you could tell the only reason they started a podcast was because they were killing it on like other platforms. And then someone on their team who was probably a yes man was just like, you guys should start a podcast. And just because you're killing it on like other platforms doesn't mean that's gonna translate well to this platform. There's even podcasts out there hosted by like bankers. And they're like, what? I guess like they're like good bankers. They're like good at accounting. And then they're like, I should start a podcast. Who told you that, man? It's fine because you could still live a fulfilling life without checking those boxes. If you figure out who you are and you're happy with you, you got it. But don't try to force your way into these other things just because you see other people doing it and you think it looks simple. You don't need to be super funny. You don't need to be an amazing storyteller. You don't need to be a 10 out of 10. I actually find that the internet and the world in general just has too much entitlement in it. Everybody wants more than what they have, and I think that needs to, I think everybody just truly, I'm serious, everybody lower your expectations. Even when someone on Twitter who has 500 followers has a tweet that blows up, goes viral, and then underneath it they're like, hello new followers. It's great because like you nailed it with that one tweet, but like keep being you know what I mean? I'm not even anybody, you know what I mean? Like, I just pick my nose like on camera. Do your thing, find out what your thing is, find out what you love and pursue it, but stop trying so hard to be famous, everybody. We've seen how like easy it is to blow up, especially on TikTok, and that just makes so many people, especially young people, believe that fame is right around the corner for them. Everyone loves being like, blow this up. If I get 500k likes, I'll show you part 2. Fuck you. Show us part 2, idiot. I bet it's not even that exciting. These are just my thoughts. These are just my observations. I'm not trying to offend anybody, obviously. But the scariest thing is that like anybody can be on YouTube. Anybody can have a podcast. Anybody can have Twitter. That's pretty scary. Do I think Twitter and TikTok should be 18 plus? Yeah. It's insane out there. And do you notice how it's become a trend that like girls don't even want famous guys anymore? They'll publicly state that like, I don't want a guy with followers. I don't want a guy who has clout. I want a dude who has like 400 followers. Nobody knows who he is. Like, it's become corny. It's overplayed. There's too many bots. There are so many things that help people gain followers. There are events and stuff. There are things you can go to gain followers. There are ways to purchase followers. I don't understand. Why do you want to trick people? And like, how are you not embarrassed if you do that? Why do you want to have so many followers if you're still just gonna like be a server or work at a bank? I don't understand it. The misconception of fame is so corny. Should people start podcasts with friends because they think it's easy? No. Because over time you're gonna become bored with it. Because the idea and the excitement of starting the podcast is way better than the reality of maintaining one. I don't understand why people want to become influencers either. What is that? What do you do? It's such a cop-out to me. It's like how anyone can be a real estate agent, but not everybody should. Obviously this video started with like, hey, not everyone should have a podcast. But the last half of this video has a bigger message. You shouldn't obsess about what you bring or don't bring to the internet. It causes crazy amounts of anxiety. In the long run, it does not matter at all because your tombstone's not gonna have your pinned tweet on it. I've seen so many people try to have a podcast, try to maintain a YouTube channel, even try stand-up comedy. I know that I do these things not even to the best of my abilities yet. I haven't mastered anything. It's tough, it's weird. The way that I'm talking about this other stuff is the way people spoke to me about different career paths. I honestly can't do much else. I truly think that my abilities are limited to this. And I know this because the happiness that I get from sharing my comedy, sharing my ideas, sharing my observations, sharing my views, it makes me feel something. It makes me feel fulfilled. Like, truly, nothing makes me happier than the rush of excitement that I feel when I get to show all of you something new that I made. I personally feel like I was born to entertain people, and I love it. I love it so much. I just don't want people to lose sight of what's truly important. And to be honest, no one would really know who I am if it weren't for my buddy Curtis and my buddy Jacob. You know what I mean? They always motivate me to like keep going and keep trying new things.
All that cancer.
Those dudes constantly remind me of what I'm capable of, and I love them to death. Obviously, covering these topics, I have to address the fact that like no one would know who the fuck I am if it weren't for my buddy Curtis. So, you know what I mean? That is not lost on me. I thank him for that.
We know, dumbass.
I'm not sure what this video was. It seems like it was a letter to the internet. It kind of seems like a lecture. It kind of seems like just, you know, a rant. The focal point of this video is like, I just want people to know that there's way, way, way more to life than this. And thank you so much for watching this video on my YouTube channel. I hope you learned something. I hope you gained some perspective. I hope you had a laugh. My name is Dean, and I'm trying my best to make videos weekly. I'm gonna put links to my podcast down below, links to my socials down below, and I thank all of you for the support, and I hope you have a wonderful day.